So anyway, I don't know if you guys were on the last call, but my name's Nathan Payne. I helped Jerry out with some of his calls. I signed up for his coaching like 2 or 3 years ago. Might have been 2 years ago. I wholesale nationwide. I do deals, like 4 to 5 a month, sometimes 6, sometimes less. It just depends on the month. Basically, he just asked me to help you guys out. If you have any questions, so any questions you have, the floor is open. All the format of the call really is you just go in and in the chat box, just type in, your question. I'll see if I can answer it. If I can't, point you in the right direction. But if you guys don't have that many questions, maybe I can review some, look at some deals with you that you have, help you comp some stuff. I'm really just here as a resource. So how about everybody on the call? Just so for people that are new, maybe just type in, where you're from, what market you're in. So where you're from and what market you're in. So if you're in the same market, say, hey, I invest in this. I'm from Utah. I invest in Utah. So everybody in the chat, let's get some people to contribute, and then we'll get into some questions. While you're doing that, I'll be right back. All right, we got Michael Hall here, live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and he says Maricopa County, Dallas County. Okay, Denver Metro. Michael Hall just started cold calling yesterday. I love it. We got Amarillo, Texas. I'd like to ask some questions about new construction. Okay, we'll get to that, Devin. I live in Washington. My market is Nebraska. Sweet. All right. Sweet, guys. So my name is Dawson Greer. My market is in Raleigh and Durham. Oh man, I have a property I'm trying to wholesale in Durham. But I think maybe we can talk about it later. Cool, Philip. Anybody else want to write in there? I think we're missing a couple people. You don't have to if you don't want to. All right, everybody. Nice to meet everybody again. Before we get into questions, does anyone have any questions about what I do, about me, that I can answer for you guys? You can put in the chat box, and then if I read it, I can go right into, we can just talk. All right, so let's see. Michael Hall, what's up, man? Do you want to chat? You can get off of, you can unmute yourself if you want.
Yeah, can you hear me?
What's up, Michael? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. So you said, where do I pull lists from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I personally, in my business, I pull it from PropStream.
Mm-hmm.
Flipster, I think I talked to Jerry, I think he pulls from the same data source. I'm not 100% sure. There's so many different lists, places to pull lists. You got List Source, PropStream, Flipster, you got a ton, but they're all, what you got to worry a little bit more about than the list, in my opinion, is the skip tracing. You got to make sure you're using a good skip tracing service.
Right. So what I noticed was some of us paid for the the Prime membership for Flipster, so that gives you like a considerable amount of leads that are already skip trace.
Oh, sweet.
So I'm going through those first just because they're already there, depending on like what list you're pulling. But then I've also looked into like batch or PropStream and stuff like that. Just obviously you found success with wholesaling over the last couple of years, so just trying to find like the best place to pull lists from, just so we can convert better and find the most success.
Yeah, I think Flipster's good. I just don't use it. Not that it I have a bias against it. I don't even really run the marketing in my business. I have my business partner. He runs the marketing, and he's tried multiple service listing lists, and we just do PropStream because it comes from. It just goes well with our process of how we dispo deals. But Flipster is good. I think when you're not getting deals and you're not as successful as you want, like most people, they want to see more deals. It's because your action, you're not doing enough. Like you're not making enough offers, not making enough calls. You're not, your marketing isn't as strong. That's usually what it is. It's not so much the list.
No, for sure.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I think like just starting out, like the biggest thing is like obviously you want to be able to like trim as much as the fat as possible. So I'm just trying to get an idea, so a biggest thing is obviously just making phone calls and asking if they want to, accept an offer on their property or
that's right, bro.
Consider an offer on the property.
Look at you. You got the headset on. You're ready. You're ready to
thank
go.
you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, for me, like, I just quit my job. I've been in mortgages for the last 7 years at Rocket Mortgage. And,
oh, wow.
I just wanted to try something new. So, phone sales is something that I pride myself in. I think I'm pretty good at it. So, here we are.
Yeah.
So
just
appreciate
to kind
the
of
opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And just to kind of let you know, so you're cold calling lists, right? What would be a better use of your time if you had the money? It just depends like where everybody is in their marketing budget. But usually when you're cold calling lists like that, these people, you're going to have to go through a lot of people to find someone that's motivated. I don't know if you've realized that from cold calling, but
yeah, definitely.
It would make more sense if you had the money to hire a virtual assistant or someone from Egypt, the Philippines, South America that has decent English that can filter someone that wants to sell to you. And then you have that call. Because what you're doing right now, you're really just trying to filter people. You're not really
right.
And you're good at sales. You said you're good at sales. Really, what you're going to do
I think so.
Until that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is like you're not going to really enter too much of the sales realm with these people because you're in the filter. You're filtering them. Right. So,
yeah. And you're right. Like my thought behind that too, like the other way around is like, what if I, maybe it's like a lack of confidence. So it's like for me with mortgages, I feel like I got, really good at that. And there wasn't like a single question that somebody could ask me that I wouldn't know how to overcome the objection or just have an answer for. Whereas in this business, I feel like I'm kind of like back down to the bottom of the totem pole. I don't know what I'm doing. There's questions that people might ask me that I'm like, yeah. So it's almost like I almost kind of want to go through the ringer of cold calling just so I can like get that edge and be able to answer those questions. And I don't want to like waste money on unless you see it differently. Like I don't want to waste money on a VA.
You know what, man? I think you're doing the right thing if you have the time, right? Like if you quit your job, right, so you have the time. If people don't have the time, it's going to be difficult to get a deal unless they're putting in the time. Now, if you put in the time, you're going to learn quickly. I got my first deal cold calling after like 2 months, or might have been 3 months. I can't remember. But through that, talking to sellers, people who had objections, they were mad. I was able to like really learn quickly how to talk to sellers. So yeah, I think you're doing the right thing. I'm just saying like if you want to speed up the filtering process, getting someone that gives you not even a vetted lead, because virtual assistants don't even really do amazing.
Just it's a hotter lead. Like they're at least willing to entertain a conversation.
Right.
So,
but you're doing a lot of your calls, because I made cold calls forever, are just like, hey, I'm calling about the property on blank. Just interested to see if you'd be interested in calling to see if you'd be interested in selling. You got to go through a lot of those. That's all I'm saying.
Right. For sure. Yeah. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I'll probably hit you up on the side with some more questions.
Do it, man. I'm here to help you guys out. I don't know. Last week I put my Facebook profile. That's kind of how I talk to people. I'll put my Facebook link in here so you guys can reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm here to answer and or help out as much as I can. Obviously, you guys can't be blowing me up all the time, but I'll help out as much as I can. Cool. All right, you guys got that. You guys got my Facebook friend request me, and I'll we can be friends. All right, so let's look at the next question. Jim, can you recommend a good DA source? All right, Jim, what's up, man? You available, Jim?
I am.
All right,
sorry, I was.
You're good, Jim. So what do you mean by DA? What does DA stand for?
Digital assistant.
Okay, digital assistant. They in this industry, they mostly call them a virtual assistant.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I mean, depends what you need the virtual assistant to do, right? Like if you want them to cold call, you probably have to. Philippines are okay. You have South America, it's good. I use Egyptians. It really doesn't matter. They just need to get someone that call a ton of people to filter them to you, so you can have a conversation with someone that's sort of should be interested in selling.
Right.
There's a couple groups on Facebook. Let me show you guys. I can just yap, but let me just show you. So if you go to let's see, I think it's called Reva. Real Estate Virtual Assistants. And there's thousands of these groups on Facebook, guys. And you can find them on Fiverr, but there's 13,300 members. If you just post, I'm looking for a virtual assistant to make cold calls, or I'm looking for virtual assistants for data entry, a texter, you can find someone on Reva. Now, virtual assistants. Let's see, virtual assistant jobs, virtual assistant networking group. I'm in a lot of these because I'm always like trying to hire. But yeah, that's my advice to you is I would go on Facebook, join some of these groups, start getting people. I mean, look at all these people that are blasting me in my DMs all the time. All these people are always like, hey, I can work for you. Just nonstop. I know it's it can be annoying, but sometimes you'll get a good one. I just hired 2 virtual assistants from the Philippines to help me with my social media and my YouTube channel, and they're monsters. They're gonna be great. So that's what I wanted to show you guys.
Okay.
Does that help out, Jim?
It does. And how do we get access to Flipster?
So when you guys signed up for Jerry Norton's course, you should have gotten access to it through like an email. Let me show you. Oh, sorry, you're saying Flipster, not his training portal, right?
Right.
You should have gotten an email from Al or someone. You might have to message someone somehow through that. That would be able to help you. But you should. I think when you guys sign up, you get like a year of Flipster included or something.
Yeah, I'll check my inbox, and if not, I'll contact them.
Sounds good. Any other questions, Jim?
No. Well, how many deals did you say you were doing a month?
So we're doing like 4 to 5 consistently. Sometimes we'll do more, sometimes we'll do less, depending on title issues. Yeah. So we're like 4 or 5.
How many names on a list do you have to call or have a virtual assistant call to generate that number of deals?
So in order to generate that, so we're nationwide, right? So it takes us more deals to do a deal than if I were to focus specifically in one market, right? Just because there's issues with comping, there's just more things you can run into. So it's between 50 to 100 leads to get a deal for us.
Okay.
And those are people that want, and when I say leads, that's people who have like said they want to sell.
Okay, so if you had just a list of potential sellers.
It's really hard to say because a list, like for example, if you pull a list of 10,000 people and you cold call them, I'd have to talk to my marketing guy, but I have to see when we pull a list of 10,000 or 20,000 or whatever, how many of those people become leads, right?
Okay.
I'll get back to you with that. But I know that like we get with our marketing efforts, we text, we cold call, we have a commercial, we do some online advertisements. We have virtual assistants that are going to FISBOs. I mean, we blanket everything, right? Because as you'll realize in this industry is you can get a deal from anything. Like I've gotten deals from door knocking, like personally, from handing out flyers. You really just got to do as much as you can if you want to get more deals.
Okay.
You got to.
Let me ask you from a different angle then.
Mm-hmm.
The same question. You're generating 4 or 5 deals a month. What's your marketing budget a month?
Right now, my marketing budget is anywhere from between $15,000 to $20,000 a month.
Okay.
So it takes about generally about $5,000 in marketing spend if you're not doing it yourself, to get a deal. That's usually like, I don't know, no matter what, it usually costs about $5,000, and you're usually making 15K a deal. So it's 15K, your assignment fee, you spent 5 to get there. Now, the thing that makes this business worth it is the home runs that you get. Like, we got a $78,000 wholesale fee like a couple months ago. So when you're spending 5K to get a deal, that return is okay, right? But it's like when you get that 78,000, or you end up doing a flip and you make 100K. That's when the business starts rolling.
Yeah. Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Thanks.
For sure. All right, let's see what else. All right, Michael Hall. What's the biggest reason for fallout in process? Michael, what do you mean by that?
Like, so out of the 5 deals that you do,
Mhm.
say only 3 or 4 of them close, or let's say it's like you really locked up 7 or 8, but then only 5 or 6 of them closed or whatever.
Yeah, so
The 2 that fell out, what would be the biggest reasons?
say a lot of the reason why a lot of our deals don't go through is we're dealing with sellers who have problems, and when they have problems, they usually have title issues. Like it's a probate lead, or they inherited it, and you have to go through all this crap to get it closable, right? So a lot of times, like for example, this guy in Jacksonville, Florida, his house is worth 200,000. He's willing to sell it to us for 80. Great deal. We could have made 30, 40 on it, but his wife was on title with him, went missing, and he couldn't find her or whatever, some crazy like that. And it's
Right.
like, and then I found out that they didn't get divorced, but she left him, and he hasn't been able to hear from her. So he's trying to sell it. So where that one was, we signed it. We're like, okay, we're ready. It's a deal. We didn't get the whole story. She wasn't going to sign. He ended up losing it to at auction, like, because it was in pre-foreclosure. So a lot of crap like that will happen where you're dealing with people who, if they didn't really have a problem, they probably wouldn't be selling at a discount. So you're going to run into a lot of title issues. And another thing is running your comps wrong. If you, that happens to us a lot, I'm not gonna lie, like we will get a lot of houses under contract thinking we had a good price, and then we will be off by like 10 or 15K, go back to the seller to try and renegotiate, and it won't work because they're like, oh, I'm not going down 15K. It's like, okay, well, so.
So when you say like, so you're saying like if it's off by 10 or 15K, so the people that like your cash buyers want to basically buy it what you locked it up for, so there's no spread. Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm just shooting you guys straight within a business. I'm not trying to be saucy or fluff it up.
I mean, we got to know.
A lot of title issues that happen when you do a lot of deals, a lot of issues, and if you do not have your numbers correct, you can lose a lot of deals because you didn't comp it right. So how do you avoid that issue? You make sure you give them an offer that you know is a deal, because it's a lot of time is wasted when you lock up a house, you try to dispo it, and then nobody's interested in it because you got the wrong price. I mean, I've been in business for 4 or 5 years. I do this nationwide, and we still have to cancel deals because we didn't comp our stuff right. Now in my business, we're putting more of an emphasis on comping stuff better. I'm good at comping stuff, but it's just easy. If a seller says like a low price, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, we can do that. That sounds pretty low, and not putting in the effort and the work to comp it and really look at it. I'm guilty of that. I do that all the time. I need to change. So,
and plus you like get excited too, especially for brand new. Like I feel like that can happen really easily. It's like, oh my God, like this guy wants, like he's saying yes.
Yeah,
but
you get
then
stoked.
you're not thinking far enough ahead or whatever.
Yeah, one thing I think will help all of you guys is if you decide to wholesale, or if you're doing the fix and flip. If you're thinking about wholesaling, just think, would I buy this deal? or do I think this is a good enough deal where if it fell through because I couldn't find a buyer, I would do it. Because one thing I struggle with when I first started is I was like, oh, it's not my money. Someone will buy it. And I wasted a lot of my time. But now like we're way better at that. We're like, hey, you know, is this a deal that works for us if we can't find someone? And by looking at it like that, you're able to, you know, make more money, have bigger spreads. And sorry guys, if I sound kind of raspy, I don't know if I got the Amricron or not. Who knows? I don't know if that's how you say Amricron, whatever it's called. But anyway, you guys are safe. I won't get you sick. All right, we got Rachel. Is that right, Rachel D'Angelo?
You got it. That's right.
What's up, Rachel? What we got? You got a question right here? If we're having trouble finding deals in our primary market, do you suggest opening another market? Okay. Is that your question in a nutshell, or do you want to kind of explain a little bit more?
Well, I mean, so in the training videos, you know, Jerry says, you know, just start with one market and do that market until you know it well.
Mm-hmm.
And you've set up, you know, contacts and you have people on your side. So, but maybe I'm just getting antsy. We've only been at it for a couple of weeks, but I'm like ready for something to happen, you know? So I just don't know if I should try to do another market at the same time and just build up as much as I can, or just get to know the Omaha Lincoln market first.
Yeah, Rachel. It's Rachel, right?
It is Rachel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you get antsy. That's how it is. I mean, the thing is, the reason why I went nationwide, and I'm not recommending any of you guys go nationwide yet, is my market, I had the same thought you did. So I learned from another coach about how to wholesale deals nationwide. Now I know how to do it. I'm good at it. But it is different. I would say it's more difficult than your own market, because you have to find a new buyer almost every time. Even if you went to another market, it's going to be like if you had two markets, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So I would not recommend doing that until you're experienced. But I did that, and I probably wouldn't have done it. Now it's fine because, you know, I've learned and I'm good at it, but it's not I would say master your market, because you're going to be able to get buyers easier. You're going to be able to network with people better. You're going to be able to go see the properties, go on appointments, build the rapport. The question is, you just have to make sure you're doing enough
Right.
to get a deal.
Okay. That's good
So,
advice. I appreciate it.
yeah. We all face it, right? We're like, oh, my market's so saturated. Every market's saturated. You leave to go to Tampa, Tampa's saturated. You leave to go to Salt Lake City, Utah. It's everybody's hitting everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not in a market where I live. And so I thought of that as well. Maybe adding this market where I live, but
Oh, I thought you lived in the market you're at. Okay.
no, I'm actually from Nebraska, but I live in Washington State. So I know the market that I'm doing. I know a lot about it, and I have a lot of contacts there.
Okay.
I just don't live there. So
Yeah. So I think my opinion would be to focus on one market. Just focus and get good at that. Because a lot of this business is knowing your numbers and knowing like what area. Okay, this area is on the left side of the west side of the highway. Like in Utah, for example, anything on the west side of the highway is pretty much less than the east side, right? But if I don't know that area, I don't know that, right? So I'd be comping it and be like, oh, that house over here is just as much, and I would use it as comp when it's really not, right?
okay.
So knowing your area is important. So yeah, just stick to that. And yeah, if you want to do the one you're living in, that's not a bad idea. But I just wouldn't do what I've done. Like I've opened myself to the United States. So we get leads, you know, sometimes in the middle of nowhere, and it's just hard to find a buyer because we don't know if that market is hot or not. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm just rambling, but
Perfect. Thank you.
okay. All right, Jim. Okay, hold on. I think someone asked a question before Jim. Wait, Ed had a question. Okay, I got a question about sub 2. All right, Ed, what's up?
Are you familiar with sub 2?
Yeah, I'm familiar with all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I have this deal So this property is a commercial property.
Well, let me-
The
before you
guy
go into
wants-
sub two, before you go into your deal, I'm not the expert at sub two. I've done maybe 4 or 5 sub two deals, creative financing deals, but I'm not like an expert. But yeah, I'll see.
That's
I'll see if I
fine.
can help you.
Just anything, anybody here, anything. Oh. So I'm thinking of, I have money I want to invest. I want to keep this one as a rental. So as this building, he wants $800,000. It's a commercial building. It's 7,000 square feet. I know I can get about $8,000 a month on it. He owes at the bank 300,000. So he has a mortgage on it, 300,000. He wants 800,000.
So you
He's
got to
willing-
bring. So you got to bring $500,000 down.
Yeah, but he's willing to carry.
Okay.
So he's willing to carry. So I told him I got money, but he needs 100,000 in his pocket to carry the rest, and 300 to pay off the mortgage. So I'll have to come up with 400,000.
Why would, if he's going to carry it, why would he have to pay off the mortgage?
Why wouldn't he? Wouldn't it?
Why wouldn't you just give him 100,000 and take over the payments?
So yes, that's what I have written down. I told him if I can give you 100,000, that way I don't have to come up with 400,000, and I'll just pay the mortgage, a sub two, and then pay you for the other 400,000 as an owner carry. Will that work?
Okay, so you want to, I mean, the way I do subject to, is I try to give them nothing down. So like you're talking about giving them a lot. I mean, I don't know why. I personally wouldn't do that. I mean, I'd have to look at the numbers, but like, let me tell you, for example, we just did a deal subject to, and I had to give the guy $2,000 down to take over his payment. But you're talking like 100K. I mean, have you run the numbers to see if like it's a good investment?
Yes, I done all that, and I'm okay with giving them 100K too. Why? I do have the money, and I can tie that off separate from my business and everything. But I'm just wondering if it will work out, if it can still work out. Like, what about the mortgage and him? Like, let's see if we go to title company and they say, okay, well, there's a lien on this. They owe 300,000. You want to owner carry the rest. Will he be like a second on title? Because let's say I don't perform on this and the bank takes it back, he'll be second, so he can say, no, I'll keep paying on that. It's just, I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, to be honest, bro, the way I don't really understand. Maybe someone on this call does, but I would just give him 100K down. If I looked at the numbers, I don't even know if I would give someone 100K down. That sounds like a lot for me. Like for my experience, we don't like to give anyone a lot of money down, just because it makes the deal less sweet. But so if you give him $100,000, what are his payments? Like, do you know what his monthly payments are?
Yeah, it's 3,300.
So I would say to him, say, hey, look, if the deal makes sense, if I look at it deeper, I'd say, I'll give you 100K down. Okay. And I'll take over your payments for the rest of the life of the loan. And then that way, wait, hold on. And he wants $800,000 for it. Is that right?
Correct.
So you would have to sell it within like a 5-10 year balloon or something like that to be able to pay him out. Right. So do you know
it or refi or refi?
Yeah. So does he know? Did he say when he wants to get his money out of it?
No, he did not say. I have written down here 5 to 10 years.
So I would say, so you could do this. Hey, I'll give you 100,000 now. I'll take over the payments and I'll do a balloon in 5 to 10 years for the remainder for 800,000, but whatever else I owe you.
So you're saying he does not get any money right now, just 100,000. After that 5 years, now he started collecting money. It's a little more complicated because I'll be cash flowing about $2,500. I care more about the cash flow. I'll be cash flowing $2,500 on this, even if I have paying that $3,300 plus paying him for the remainder $400,000 as an owner carry on that.
Oh, so you would pay him a month, like a monthly payments on the 400,000 instead of like doing it all up front?
Correct.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, if it makes sense, then yeah.
But-
I thought
but
you were
my-
gonna give it to him up front.
No, because I don't want to tie up that much money in this deal, but I just care for cash flow. So my question is, even though he has a loan on it, can I sub to the rest? Like he wants 800,000, he owes 300,000. I take over this $300,000
Yeah.
loan, and then plus 400,000 he'll carry.
And he'd be like a second position or like a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's allowed.
I'm not like a guru at this. I would get with the title company or someone like I propose this, and then every let me tell you guys, I've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years. I'm not like the expert, but I've done deals, because what happens with subject to and creative financing is I take them to the title company and I say, hey, did I set this up right? And I just let them figure it out. That's what they do. That's what that's what they're there for. So you can ask me. I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
No, that's a good point though, that you're saying that I could just call the title company.
Dude, that's how I get these done, bro. You don't have to be the smartest guy. You don't have to be like the most educated with subject to. They won't close it unless it's done right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's my recommendation. Would you is reach out to a title company that deals with subject to and seller finance, to propose them, tell them what you do, and if they're like, yeah, we could do that, then all you got to do is get the paperwork done.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Sorry, man. I wish I could be more help on that one, but
No, you're good. You're
subject
good.
to all that stuff, I'm just like, I don't know. It's hard sometimes. All right, what we got next? Philip, why do you prefer wholesaling or fix and flipping? Okay, Philip, what's up, man? Are you still here, Philip? Philip Greer? Oh, there he is. You got to unmute yourself.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, here lately, we started wholesaling. But we kind of ventured off to do also virtual, fix and flipping. I didn't know, just, as your recommendation or why you prefer wholesaling over fix and flips.
So for us, the reason why we focus more on wholesaling is because when you start spending a lot of money on marketing, it gets expensive. So in order to keep the business going with the marketing, you have to keep wholesaling to, bring money back into the business, keep the marketing going. Because on a fix and flip, it could take 3 to 4 months. So if you're consistently marketing and you don't have that money coming back quickly, you kind of go under. So that's why we've been focusing more on wholesaling. But now that we have more money in the business, we'll look at a deal specifically and be like, look, we can make 20K on this wholesale right now, or we can go to that house, fix it up a little bit, make 60K. So then we'll say, okay, it's worth waiting 3 months to make $40,000 more than it is to make $20,000 right now. So to answer your
So
question,
it's basically just
go ahead.
basically so you're basically just saying it's all about time is really what you're getting at, correct?
Yeah, it's all about timing.
If you 20K, or I'm sorry, week.
Sorry, bro. I think you're breaking up a little bit. I can't hear you anymore. Can everyone else hear him? Philip,
Do what? I'm sorry.
you were breaking up a little bit. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah. I was just basically saying, like, you just rather spend, in a week's worth, 2 weeks worth, and make 20K than you'd rather make 60K in like 3 to 4 months, correct? Just basically just what it is.
No,
time and-
it depends. I would say for me right now, because I got my business a little bit more rolling, I'd rather make 60K in three months than I would make 20K now. But back in the day, when I needed all that money back in my business ASAP, or I couldn't continue the marketing, I would need to wholesale.
Okay.
I'm
with you now.
Okay. I don't know if you guys have gone to Fast Track with Jerry yet, but he basically explains that you have to look at every deal individually, right? If you can make more money on the flip where you can make 50K plus, it's probably worth you doing a fix and flip. If you can't make more than that on the fix and flip and you can make 15 or 10, you probably should just wholesale it, right? It's not gonna be worth your time, energy to flip it when you're not gonna make a lot of money. So you gotta look at each individual deal and determine what's the best exit strategy. We wholesale a lot. I don't know if you guys know what wholesaling is, but we buy houses. We don't fix them up. We just clean them and we take out the trash and we relist them. We just had a deal in Utah. We bought it for 344. Wholesalers were offering, no, sorry, cash buyers are offering us 400,000. So we're gonna make like 60, which it like 54. That's a good amount of money, right? 54,000. But I was like, nah, bro, we could make way more money if we listed this on the MLS. So instead of taking 400,000, we put it on the MLS, didn't do anything to the house. And we're selling it. It's going to close in a couple of weeks for 460. So instead of taking, the 50, we're trying to make like 100. Well, after fees and everything, it's gonna be like 70,000, like 70 or 80. But does that make sense? You just got to look at every deal differently.
Yeah. No, I understand. Thank you, sir.
You got it, bro. All right. Who's up next? We got Jim. Jim, why is it harder to find a buyer in another market? You there, Jim?
Yeah, you mentioned that when you go to another market, one of the difficulties is finding a cash buyer. What makes a remote market? Why is it more difficult to get a cash buyer then?
So, from our experience, it's not necessarily like harder to find out like who is buying. It's like hard to. Does that make sense? Like we can pull a list, we can see, okay, these are cash buyers. It's just when you're in your own market and master your market, you can develop relationships consistently with buyers where you're like, hey, John, I got a house under contract and you're my VP buyer. Can you take a look at this really quick? Because I don't know the guy in the remote market, I can't make a quick call and get that like, yes, I'll buy it right now, or that information quickly. So it's more of a, when you're in your own market, you get speed, you get recognition, and you develop relationships. You have to start almost over every time when you do nationwide, because you can find the people, but they might not answer your call. You might say, hey, bro, I have a great deal. And they could say, oh, well, I'm really busy. I don't know who you are. I'm not going to put a lot of energy into what you have for me. So that's the problem with not sticking in your own market and mastering it, is you're not able to develop as many relationships as you would in your own market.
I understand.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, Troy. What you got for me, Troy? It looks like you unmuted yourself. But I can't hear you.
Damn.
I heard something. I heard a little peep. You there? Your question was, sorry, tech issues. 1 second. Okay. Well, his question was, when talking to realtors, is it considered good practice to let them know upfront that I am a wholesaler? I'm trying to build my network and I don't want to be misleading. It's a good question.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Troy. So
Okay, there we go.
I read
Sorry
your-
about that.
yeah, I read your question. Do you want to elaborate on that, or?
So basically what I'm asking is I'm still relatively sorry, new to this. I know a realtor personally, and I wanted to network with her in particular and ask her about, getting some MLS listings and getting on a buyer's list for her. But I didn't want to be misleading in the sense of, hey, I'm a cash buyer, I'm an investor, this is what I do. And I'm just looking for, the best practice to go about that and how to establish relationships with realtors, especially when starting out.
So I think the best thing you're going to want to do is not look at yourself as a wholesaler.
Okay.
I don't look at myself as a wholesaler. Like that's all I do. I look at myself as a real estate investor, because if the deal's good enough, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to fix and flip it. Same with you, right? You might not know how to get the money yet and how to fix it and flip it yourself. But if you brought a deal that was a good deal, I could teach you how to get it, your own money. And, it's really easy. Some hard money lenders will fund 100% of the deal if it's good enough. So first of all, you're not just a wholesaler, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So when you talk to those agents and you say, hey, I'm looking to buy a house that I can work on, that's what you're doing. I mean, wholesaling is an exit strategy, right? So
Mhm.
don't think like you're being misleading by, you know, saying, hey, send me what you got with no intent to buy it, because you should want to buy it if it's a great
Right.
deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, first thing when you're talking to agents, you're gonna buy it. I mean, you're gonna fix and flip it if it's a great deal. So when you
Right.
talk to them, that's what you do. You're an investor.
Cool. Okay. That answers that. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it.
Yep, you got it. All right, Michael Hall, you got another one. How do you determine which is better between wholesaling or cash buyers? Right? Is that your question, Michael? Or you want to go talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Uh,
There's a ton of spreadsheets. I don't know if what's his name, Jerry has a spreadsheet on. I'm sure he does, but like we usually bust a calculator. Let me show you. He's got his calculator, which you can use, but you really just got to look at it. This is one that I use. See, this is like what flippers use, right? So let's just put a hypothetical. Let's put that deal that I had in Utah, right? I got it for the sales price. The cash buyer wanted to buy it from me, and I got it at 344, right? You remember that scenario? I got 344. So I'd look at this and I would determine, you know, how much I could make. So let's see. Somebody messed with my calculator, man. It messed up all the. Okay, let's see. So right here, by the way, what this is you just type in the sale price, the cost to buy the house, and then right here is if you were to close on it with hard money, it's usually 12% interest, 2 points. But let's zero all this out. Okay, so this is 52,708, right? That's how much I would have made if I just wholesaled it to someone for $400,000, right? Does that make sense? You there, Mike? Yeah, could you hear me? Oh yeah, you're out. Your mic's not working. I can't hear you. But anyway, I'll continue with my presentation. So anyway, you say, okay, look, this is what I can make on a wholesale fee. When we had originally done the deal, we thought we could if we just put it on the MLS, we could sell it for $500,000. So that would cost us, we had to get hard money, we had to pay 2 points, and we didn't think we had to bring 15% down. We'd have to relist it. I think one of our guys was able to list it for us for 1%, and then we'd have to pay 2.5% to the buyer's agent. So when we originally looked at this deal, we were like, okay, should I make, and by the way, sorry guys, by the way, we didn't think we thought we'd put like $2,000 into it. That much work into it. So I was like, okay, when I was originally looking at it, I was like, okay, I can make 50 as a wholesaler, or I can just put it right on the MLS and make 126. You basically just have to go and look at it and determine, is it worth my time to, put it on the MLS, take that risk. Now, what happened in this scenario is we didn't sell for $500. Now we sold it for 460. So instead of making 52, we'll make around 88, which is still better. And I'm willing to take that risk on the MLS versus just get a quick check. So I don't know if you can still hear me, Mike, but that's how I do it. I crunch the numbers and I say, is it worth it for me to wholesale it or fix and flip it? Which one's going to make me more money? I also have a spreadsheet that I can share with you guys if you want, that actually helps you break down the numbers on which extra strategy you should use. But this is the easiest way I do it. There's another spreadsheet, requires a lot more steps. But anyway, did you hear all that, Mike? Okay, did that answer your question? Yeah, I don't know what happened to your mic, but we got to get that thing working again so you can call again. All right. Let's see. All right, guys. Well, I mean, I don't see any more questions on there. I've been trying to diligently answer everything, but let's see. Oh, we got another one. Oscar, you there, Oscar?
Yeah, I'm here.
You said you want that spreadsheet?
Yeah, me and my wife looked at it and we're like, hey, that looks pretty neat. That would be pretty simple to use.
It'll cost you, Oscar. I'm just
I
kidding.
could.
We're fairly new to this. We're on about to start our 4th week of the last leg, I guess, of the training.
Yeah.
Start making deals.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this is for you guys that are new. For everybody, it can be overwhelming and being like, oh man, I thought I would get a deal already, or some people interested. Like even in the business I'm in, where I have a lot of people working with me, and it's just you got to make offers. You got to consistently be talking to people, making offers that make sense. And I know when I was doing the training, just like you guys, it was kind of hard to make offers. I'd be like, man, I don't want to call any more agents. But like, if you want to make money, you got to make offers. You got to be put out there. But yeah, to answer your question, message me on Facebook, and I'll send you a link that's going to get you the free that calculator. I'll just give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Did you get my Facebook? Did you get my Facebook link? I guess.
Yeah, we got it. We got it from the last time as well.
DM me and I'll send you a link. So I have I'll send you where you need to get. I have it like in a portal I have that has all the materials that you can get.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I think we got. Can I ask about a probate lead I have? Yeah, Jim, what you got?
So there's a woman who lives out of state, and her mother passed away. Her mother lived in the town I live in, and she's cleaning out the house. Her the grandson, I guess her cousin, I guess, lives. So grandmother passes away.
Yep.
She's got a son living in the house with her. The daughter, who lives out of state, is coming in and wants to sell the house. I'm assuming she's the executor of the estate.
Okay.
She doesn't have to wait until the estate is closed to sign a contract with me, does she?
She doesn't. From my experience, she doesn't need to, but it would have to be closed in order to actually close on the deal.
The deal.
But you can. We do this all the time. Like someone will be going through probate, and it's not done yet, but we'll sign with them, like just assuming it'll go through, just so they don't go with another buyer, or you lose out on the opportunity. So if I were you, this is a great lead. We do a lot of these leads. Just lock her up, and I don't know. We have a lot of issues, like what you just said resonates, because a lot of people, like the grandson sometimes doesn't want to move out, so you got to kick them out, some crazy stuff like that. But that's how you get the deals. That's how you get good deals. This is a problem. And
Right.
you say, hey, look, I want to buy it, but if we have to run into any issues, your son, it's going to take it's going to cost us a lot of time, a lot of effort. So for that reason, I'm going to need to be at blank price, but I'm ready to move forward. Yeah, that's a great. Lock that thing up ASAP.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. All right, Devin Jackson. I think you said, can I hop in? Can I jump in? What, you got some?
Yep. Sorry, man. So for me, I like I was saying before, that I have a new construction deal in front of me now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Froze for 2 seconds. I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, like I have a new construction deal in front of me right now in Houston, Texas, and like I'm just curious about any hurdles that anybody's dealt with before, like who have possibly went into this route. I'm going into it with like a mentor of mine's. He's got like 5 years experience, like just doing construction and like commercial real estate. So that's the only reason I even feel comfortable doing this as like my first time.
Okay.
And they have like for all intents and purposes, let's just say it's like 10 lots. Like they have 5 and I'm getting the other 5. So, and they're like completely identical. So like if, you know, it fucks up on his side, like it's going to fuck up for me as well. And then if it goes good for him, it's going to go good for me as well. So I kind of trust the scenario, but I'm curious if anybody has any thoughts about certain things that I should be looking out for. Yeah, just
Yeah, bro, I got zero experience with new construction. I don't know anything about it. So. But maybe someone in here, you could message you directly in the chat that might be able to help you out. That's kind of like a different realm than like what I focus on distressed properties that need work, distressed people, and I try to provide them a service. That's kind of like what space I'm in. New construction, yeah, I don't really know anything about it. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Devin.
all good, man.
All right. All right, guys. Well, maybe we can wrap it up. We've had a good call. Does anybody have anything they want to ask before we wrap it up, or anything they want to say? No? All right. So, hey, just a word of advice to everybody. Keep your heads up. This is a grind. I get it. But you guys are, I mean, majority of people I've talked to, you guys all have what it takes. I mean, you're all savvy, you're smart. You just got to do, it just requires a lot of work, like any business. And then once you grow, you can hire people, you can put systems in place. Our CRM, just to let you know, we have Salesforce. It follows up automatically with people, but we have all these leads. So just know as you grow in the business, you know, there's more things to implement that make sense, but you guys are all new. So you just have to get on the phones with sellers. You have to make offers. You have to get, you know, just get used to talking to people. And as you grow, as you do deals here and there by talking and making offers, you can grow a business. So I'll see you guys next week. Jerry should be on the call next week. But yeah, keep your heads up, work hard. You guys can do it. All right. Have a great rest of the week, and reach out to me if you need anything. All right.
Cool. Thanks,
Good
Nathan.
job, Nathan.
Appreciate it.
Good call.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks, Nathan.
Yep.